Ah, the Honorable Dion Powell has joined the group. I have not done my thing. I'm not completely set up.
Oh well,
Hold
I'm just
on.
trying to live my.
I'm not set up yet. I got a boo boo. All right, talk to me now.
No, I said
I'm not hearing you. What is happening?
hello,
Oh,
hello. Test one, two. Test one, two. Test one,
it's
two.
not detecting. Hold on. Oh man, there was two things I forgot to do. Built-in microphone, internal built-in microphone, internal microphone. Oh my God, what is
Hello.
happening? The audio device, so that should make my voice better. Why is it my speakers not giving me the option? Oh, there it goes. All right, talk to me now.
Test one, two, one, two.
All right,
Test.
thank you. Sorry, everybody. I just got my computer back up and running like 3 hours ago, and I'm finally back. It took long enough. We're here, yet, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited to be back. I have my computer back. It's been far too long. It's been a couple of
All right,
weeks.
you hear me?
Yes, I do, loud and clear. We're going to make this as fast as possible because I know you got stuff to do. Let me just get in here and set up everything. Because I not only did I have to get my computer back up and running and only got it up and running 3 hours ago, I had to try and set everything up, which, there's a lot to set up in order to be able to do this. So, but it's done. I just want to put the description in the YouTube and we're ready to go. That'll only take a minute. I hope.
Okay.
That's the plan anyway. I don't know how to edit it. It's not working.
Okay.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been able to do this. That's a shame. It's not working like it's supposed to. It's changed. Oh, well, first of all, I'm here. Maybe that's. Well, this is problematic. We got people coming in already.
Good. That's the way it should be.
We got more likes than people viewing already. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if YouTube is having a little bit of an error. Okay. Whatever we're doing is right. We broke 20,000 subscribers again. Hopefully we can continue to go in the right direction. No, we got 211 likes here too, with only 35 views. Not understanding. Okay. But it's beautiful. Thank you, everybody. As y'all come in, we got a lot to discuss. I'm just trying to get this set up, and I'm having a little bit of trouble. I apologize for the problem.
Good.
Never had this issue before. I think YouTube changed something, and I'm not
Let me
aware of
check on
how.
my end. Let's see. Okay, we don't have side by side.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's fix the gallery.
Or because on my view, it's live. We don't have anybody, and so I don't know what you're seeing here.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, now you're right, because
So,
now I'm in the right place. I'm like, what is happening? All right. For me, I'm having a little bit of an issue. I'm unable to edit this.
no. So,
I've never had this before. I can't edit this video. Huh. This is
oh wow,
weird.
looks like you have a free T-shirt.
What's that? What you mean? Okay, well, something's happened. Am I in the right? No, I'm not in the live. That's why. Okay. All right. Now we're in here. It's only take a few more, another 2 minutes. I know that we got to get started. I know people will be coming in soon.
Okay. Yes. All right. So we're side by side, one like, two watching, but things usually pick up in the next 10, 15 minutes. And seeing as though I'm on the continent, I'll be sharing this podcast to a lot of people over here. So I just got to make sure things pick up on the algorithm. It's 3 a.m. in Rwanda and that kind of thing.
Or keep that in mind.
So
Definitely keep that in mind.
plane wheels up at
Important.
8 o'clock. So a few hours from now, and people are still entertaining guests in our place.
Oh, okay, okay. So you
We
you
got to
got you
get
got
you
a
out
lot
here,
out there in
sailor.
Rwanda, huh?
We got to get you out here, sailor. We got to get the 18-year-old Leo that's behind your right shoulder back in action.
Wow. I would hmm. I'm not the same person I was, even though today had a little bit of a twang for me. Not really sure I'm ready to really go back out and play, but today
No,
definitely had a little bit of twang for me.
who says you need to play? You could just come and observe, and then if you're interested in playing later, maybe you'll change your mind after you see what's going on.
I have to keep it in mind. Right now, I'm middle of a little soul searching episode. Where do I do this? How do I fix this? Here we go. This is the last thing. Oh, it did this automatically.
Well, let me step away for a second.
Okay, while you're doing that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the delay. We've got, as always, quite a bit to discuss because here on the think tank, we discuss current events at the federal and world level, global level. And we're here to talk about who else but Donald Trump, who is causing all of this motion. This is not what I would call a good thing. Donald Trump's a bit of a pain, if you would. He's causing
Yeah.
us all types of problems. Tuesday, June 16th. Oh, this did not update. Okay, give me a moment. The topics we got to discuss. I have to, my computer is not completely updated, which is a little bit of a problem, but something I'm going to fix really quickly. I'm not going to read this off my phone. I'm going to see if I can just update this really fast. Sorry for the delay. We're going to talk about the fact that Donald Trump's a coward.
Oh
I
God, here
wonder
we
if Dion
go.
realizes that he's that I can hear that everybody's listening to him right now, so that maybe he can turn his microphone off or something.
I'm sorry. Let's just say I'm in a shared space. Wink, wink.
Love, all right, got you. I don't understand what's happening here. All right, so my computer, for some reason, it did everything I asked it to do, but it didn't update completely. Everything. So maybe I can just grab things this way, and this is how we do it. Well, yes. All right, so I'll just do it this way, and we have a lot to talk about. Donald Trump, as you may or may not be aware, has claimed multiple assassination attempts. Everything from getting winged with a bullet this big, and it nicking his ear when I explained the science, even though physics isn't my specialty. I've shot a gun or two in my life. So I explained the science of what happens when a bullet comes near you, and the fact that it was a rifle, and he had a little nick and a trickle of blood. We put bandages on his ear for a week, and everybody's walking around with these bandages on their ear. Then he took it off, and voila, he's an X-Men. He has mutant powers. He was healed. There wasn't even a scratch. to somebody standing outside the White House getting ready to run in, somebody everybody knew about, like nowhere near the White House, on the outs blocks away. But that was an assassination attempt, to somebody trying to run up in the dinner when it was there for the press, whom he constantly disparages, and the dudes there that were enforcing security were talking to them. They knew who he was. They conversed with him. He went into a locker room there, or door. We don't know what was behind the door. I don't remember what was behind the door. He came out with weapons and he ran past security. But before that, he was kicking it with them. And it looked like the security shot each other and he didn't fire a single shot. Is that like multiple assassination attempts where he was courageous and brave, but then Netanyahu gets involved and he thinks it's really somebody trying to kill him. And we see the yellow streak running down his back as he cowers and hides, like the guy with the heel spurs who could never join the military and serve our country out of fear for his life. But I digress. We'll get into all of that. Let us see where the count is so we can get ready to get started. 254. We're going to wait a couple of more minutes for people to join in.
I think when we wait for when it breaks four figures, we break 1,000. You want to go hard or?
Ooh, I don't know. I know you got a timeline.
No, I can't sleep, unfortunately. We got to go through this. Then I got to pack and then go to the do what I got to do.
I completely grasp the situation, my friend. When are you coming back?
Okay.
Is that what I'm hearing? You're coming back soon?
No, not until like the end of September, maybe.
Oh, just you doing things?
Yes,
All right,
back to
everybody.
Ghana and then Kenya. So shout out, just go to the continent. That's all I gotta say.
You sound like you're at home.
I don't know, is this picking up background noise?
No, it is not actually.
Oh, thank God.
That
You
bad?
don't want to you don't want to hear what's going on in here, my friend. Then you might want to hop on a plane and get over here.
Oh, that crazy, huh?
uh, Forever young. I wanna be forever young. All right, we got 268 on my end. So we gotta keep going. And whenever you want to pull the trigger, I guess.
Yeah, the numbers are running a little bit on the slow side.
Well, normally
But
at the
let's get started.
half, they say, okay, let's do it.
Hold on me 1 second. I'm gonna share. Even though numbers are low, I'm gonna share. Cause why not, right?
I'm gonna
Oh
start
my
sharing too,
God.
if that's the case.
Oh, I'm not logged into my Facebook because I basically have what would be a new computer. I have a new hard drive. I literally lost everything. I spent the last few hours trying to put everything I needed on here in order to be able to do all of the things I need to do. So hopefully, I still got a lot to do with this computer. When you're doing something fresh, it is what it is. Anybody who's ever lost a hard drive, I'm just recovering from losing a hard drive. It's for somebody in my field doing what I do. It's pretty bad, but I'm back. I'm back. I got a lot of work to catch up on. A lot of people that are waiting for me to get things done. I even had to try and set up for the live tonight, but I'm here and we're about to get started. One moment, I just want to share the fact that we live on my Facebook because
I already broke 500 and we're increasing. So
I did not want to share this.
people are trickling in right now.
Cool. That's awesome.
Then I have to send it to you guys. Yeah, that's what you want.
Why is my people are trying to contact me now? That's me. It's me sending a message to myself because it didn't pop up on my phone. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am back in effect. Let's get this ball rolling. Hello, and welcome to the Think Tank, where we use critical thinking, deductive reasoning, and just a pinch of common sense to draw unbiased and logical conclusions. I'm your host, Leonard Sanderson, best-selling author, journalist, as you can see, and film creator. I got a movie coming out this year just for you, Garot. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for information. With no further ado, I'm going to introduce my co-host, the Honorable Dion Powell. Dion, would you introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. I'm District Leader Dion Powell of the Bronx Third Party, Community Consultants, and Strategic Solutionist here in New York, even though I'm on the continent at an undisclosed location. Wink.
What does on the continent mean? He means he is in Africa, for those of you who
Ooh.
may not be aware. Let me adjust my camera just a smidgen. Can actually do another
Yeah, I'm gonna start
adjustment.
sharing once we break 1,000. That way, new people could say, "Oh wow, Dion's doing the damn thing."
You are. You are. You are defending the indefensible. And for this, I give you credit. Where most people are ducking and running, you are standing strong. Let us begin. Let us talk about the number one thing that everybody's still talking about. Hold on a moment. Give me one moment and I'm going to jump in. It's getting a little hot. It's going to do something.
Yeah, okay, well, so far nobody's in the chat. So once again, when you guys want to get in the chat, hit that heart emoji on the lower right-hand corner. Get your algorithm going as well.
Done.
860 people watching, but pretty soon we're going to probably break 1,000 as we get closer to the half hour.
Well, yes. We hope people come in. Thank you for everybody. For those of you who are here, we appreciate having you. Thank you for the support. So let us begin. So what is going on with this war? Donald Trump has declared that he wants compensation from Iran for everything that's been going on for the last 50 years. Bibi falsely told Donald Trump Iran had ground-to-air missiles that were threatening to try and assassinate him. So, as somebody who watched, in my opinion, as a James Bond fan, yeah, it is a little bit loud in your background.
Sorry. Let me just alternate. Go ahead.
So, as a James Bond fan, it appears to me that he didn't want to act like the president of the United States. I'm being threatened. Air Force One takes off. 4 jets around it. Military might of the U.S. government. Nobody messes with the president. Instead, he was Donald Trump. He sent up a plane filled with his cabinet members and media, members of the press, such as myself, and he ducked out in a food truck, conducting a James Bond espionage mission rather than acting like the president, in my opinion. And he hid in a food truck and left everybody aboard the plane for a decoy. The crazy part about that is he was in the Qatari Air Force One at first. This is after the NATO summit. So he's leaving a NATO summit. Israel tells him that he's a threat. He goes from the Qatari jet that we've always been saying is not really the Air Force One. It was just a bribery to him. But he goes to what we call the real Air Force One because of his defensive capabilities. We can shoot down missiles and move like a jet in a movie, like it's a real jet versus the Qatari toy. But then once he gets there, he is leaving the NATO summit, is aware that there's a mention of a threat which didn't appear to really have happened, ducks in a food truck to go into another plane and leaves everybody that was with him as a decoy in case somebody really tried to kill him. The most cowardice act any president in the history this country has committed, in my opinion. What
What
else?
do you want the man to do? What do you want the man to do? That's standard procedure and protocol from the Secret Service and other entities involved, my friend. You didn't say that about Ronald Reagan. I'm sure even Barack Obama had to be escorted out of certain situations.
As I said, I guess she wasn't listening. I'll say it again. That is not standard protocol. That's cowardice. That's beneath the office of the president of the United States. The president of the United States doesn't hide in a freaking food truck to escape. He comes with the military force of the United States military. Air Force One takes off, surrounded by Air Force jets and Navy jets, because we're better flyers. And he's escorted out. And if missiles come at him, we shoot those missiles down. He doesn't run and hide in a food truck. That is not standard operating procedure. That's somebody who watched too many James Bond movies. That is disgusting. He's the president of the United
Yeah,
States, hiding in a food
yeah,
truck, escaping a NATO summit. That's
yeah,
a
nothing
real
to do with that.
sentence.
That's the old switcheroo from the Secret Service and other intelligence agencies making it happen. So I don't know.
I do know. So you'd rather your president duck and hide in a food truck, escaping and leaving decoys, rather than flying out with the might of the United States military escorting him, showing that nobody messes with the U.S. That's what your preference is, cowardice Trump?
Well, you weren't saying that when Putin
Sickening.
came to Alaska and we had all those military jets flying overhead, and Trump just said, "Looked up, hey, look at my guys doing a drill." Putin, you didn't say all that then. He wasn't a brave president then, wasn't he? For you people like you.
Right, when there was no threat to him, he was brave. Soon as somebody whispers in his ear there might be a threat, even though it was not credible, incredibly, he hit in a food truck. Like like the president of the United States escaped a NATO summit hiding in a food truck. That should not be a sentence any person on this planet ever utters. It's beneath the office of the United States, of the president of the United States. It's disgusting. It made the entire
Ah,
country look weak.
well,
When they don't
aren't you
have any
concerned they're
weapons no
trying to
more,
kill
we
him?
destroyed their military according to Donald Trump. The military is destroyed. There's nothing left. We control them. They don't have no leadership, and he's hiding in a food truck. Retarded. Do you know it costs $11 million for the THAAD interceptor missiles? What is a THAAD interceptor? You know what an interceptor is, Dion?
There are missiles that hit other missiles so that they don't attack or hit their target. Hence the phrase
Intercept.
intercept. They intercept other missiles before they hit the target. So I don't want to convolute it too much.
So it takes about 2 missiles to take down one missile coming at us. It costs about $11 million a piece. So to take down a missile costs $22 million, while Iran is building for a couple of 100,000. And they take years. They take years to stockpile these things. You can't stockpile them in 6 months. We don't have the infrastructure. We're not ready. We don't have funding from Congress to try and put ourselves in a position where we can quickly build them.
Right.
Sailors are starving and attempting to unalive themselves in the blockade ships, the Ford and Lincoln. Even as Trump deports military family members as illegal aliens. So you got people starving to death on their ships that are providing the blockade that Donald Trump can't even pretend is working, and their family members are being deported. And finally, we went over this. The seventh assassination attempt. So let's dig into this a little bit, Dion. What do you think of this terrible thing that we call a war in Iran?
Well, like I said on many episode, I'm an 80-20 Trumpster, and when it comes to the wars, I disagree with what's going on. But however, I hope that things turn out for the best.
And how do you feel like things are going at this particular junction?
Could be better. And I've said it again, trying to be consistent, that Israel needs to step up. That way we can fall back because they're there in the
Israel
region.
stepped up.
And
Israel stepped up. Israel was like, "Yo, there's a plot assassination attempt. They're trying to kill you." And Donald Trump ran and hit the food truck. God damn, Lord, for United States. Donald Trump always said we were the laughing stocks of the world. Donald Trump wanted to make that true. He spoke it into existence. The world is laughing. No president in any country has ever been captured hiding in a food truck. Congratulations, Donald Trump has said something and it came true. Unbelievable. So you're in support of Donald Trump hiding in a food truck to escape Air Force One and leaving
oh
his staff
God,
members included.
this is standard procedure for the Secret
Standard
Service and
procedure of
other law
something.
enforcement to protect the president of the United States. Nothing to see here.
So what you call standard procedure is standard to you even if it's never happened in history before. So what is your definition of standard procedure?
There's other things. Okay, how can I say this? Even you as prior military understand and respect how, in order to take care of covert action, you have to make sure publicly the enemy sees one thing, whereas behind the scenes, other things are going on.
He hid in a food truck. He hid
That's
the
the way
food
the man
truck.
wanted it.
That I mean, okay, so your hero's a coward. Fair enough.
This he has nothing to do with this, Leo. He's not the one telling them to do this. They're doing it to protect the president of the United States. He has no say, all right, hire me in a food truck. You know what I mean? This is standard procedure.
It is not standard procedure. It's not standard procedure. If it was standard procedure, then it would have been some sort of history where this has happened before. As a matter of fact, nothing about this war is standard procedure. They ran out of missiles. They ran out of missiles. What about a war where you run out of missiles and the president is ducking and hiding in food trucks is standard to you? Who planned this war? He had to run
Again,
and hide to escape a NATO summit from a threat that didn't even really exist. It almost sounds like he's wrapped up. It almost sounds like he's wrapped around Israel's finger. Maybe he's compromised. Who knows?
no, no, Leo. The public has to understand, and especially in times of these military conflicts, you got to protect the president of the United States. But that's all that was about.
Our military intelligence said the threat was not credible. So our military intelligence would have had no reason to hide him. Our military intelligence didn't make that decision because they didn't believe there was a threat. This was a Donald Trump decision based on information he got from Israel.
So you mean he's the one that actually, through Secret Service, conducted this whole plan for him from starting to finish? You see, Donald Trump did this whole plan from start to finish with the food truck? I doubt it very much.
No, not at all. I don't think he could have done that by himself. I believe what happened was his Department of Defense, upper management, had something to do with his escape. I don't think Secret Service did that. I think it was Department of Defense.
Possibly, but they're all in communication. You know this. You're prior military.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not saying that the Secret Service wasn't involved. What I said was Donald Trump was responsible for this because Donald Trump was the one that received this information, not because our military said the threat was incredible. So if they were responding to a threat that only Donald Trump knew about, that they didn't believe, then they were doing what Donald Trump wanted. Full stop. They didn't respond to a threat by ducking the president out and hiding him in a food truck they didn't even believe was real. That doesn't make sense. What is going on in this chat? Ranjit is back. What's up, Ranjit? We're about to get into that Epstein. Don't worry about that.
I'm still sharing right now, but
Gas
that's why I'm
prices. We
looking
haven't even
down.
done that gas price
I'm still
yet.
doing some promotions. So I'm about to send this out to some international people. All right, now I have my official Rwanda/Ghana phone sending out to some more people on the continent.
Strait of Hormuz could affect everyone. This is a lot to unpack tonight. Yes, it is. Iran, the situation is getting serious. Department of Justice transparency, definitely something people are watching closely. Oof. Yes, we are. Transparency, because they didn't admit that they did that. He came out like, yo, if the jet goes down, I'm going down with you. Like, what an idiot. Trump's cognitive decline is so that he had to talk about what was going on and didn't want to say anything directly. His cognitive decline is to the point where he had to talk about the fact that he would go down with people because he wasn't on the jet. He couldn't pretend like nothing was happening. He's not the same man he was even a year ago.
Okay.
Government spending,
There
we'll
we
get to
go.
that. Taxpayers is definitely getting hit. Somebody from the Bronx, they said you representing. Ren John says you repping.
Yes. I got a lot of people here from the Back to Motherland group, Vibe, Bad Vibes, other groups. It's actually a lot of men that are traveling abroad to find happiness like me in paradise. So my paradise is the continent. Some guys have Thailand, Dominican Republic, Brazil, etc. But supporting those brothers out there and other brothers that are encouraging people like you, Leo, to get out here to paradise.
I'll keep it in mind. After the day I've had, not quite ready to jump off the bridge yet, but it's been a day.
Did jump out the window.
So, Dion,
Yes, sir.
I need you to understand. Donald Trump made the decision to duck and hide. The United States military would have responded with force, not cowardice. He puts a blockade up, and the Department of Defense is so utterly ridiculous that the people aboard ships are not eating. They're not getting proper nutrition. People are trying to commit suicide. Now, to explain to you how bad this is, a 6-month deployment is not an unheard of deployment, Dion.
It's not?
No, not at all.
Okay.
So 9 months, even though it's long, the longest in history, would not in and of itself be enough to cause people to want to off themselves. It just wouldn't. It would be hard because it would be a lot longer than anybody's experienced. But that's not what did it. What did it was the fact that showers don't work. The bathrooms don't work. They're being malnutritioned. They're not getting days off. Who can handle that for 9 months? Well, the war's only been going on for what, 4 months? So the first 5 months was normal deployment. Then when they're supposed to come home, they're sent off to this blockade. And since they've been there, it's been pure hell.
Well, special shout out to Terrence, who I grew up with in the chat, and some other people that's DMing me on the side. But we're basically trying to break 1,000 viewers because right now we broke the half-an-hour mark, and so we're trying to break 4 figures again. Hopefully, you guys can help us out. Share this content.
Absolutely. What's up, Crazy? Crazy in the Heezy? See you, baby. All right. Me and you, we got to have a talk. What's up?
Ren John, my man Terrence. Here we go.
Oh, I don't. Okay.
From
It's
the
funny
back.
when my people come in here. They come in here talking on set, and I don't normally call them out. Only that one time, my homegirl, because I ain't seen her in 10 years, and she just randomly came in, and I was like, oh wow, love to support. Good to see her. Wonder how she's doing.
Yeah, the more comments you make, guys, don't forget you're going to get that little crown with a number 2, 3, or 1. So you're trying to get to number 1. So the more comments you make, the higher your algorithm goes to help your own social media.
I know those issues. No, the things going on that ship are crazy. Like, listen. When you're aboard a ship, right? Generally speaking, you have people that know how to do repairs. You have people that can fix a toilet. You have people that can you know, like you're on there. First of all, Marines. For those of you who don't know, Marines is a department of the Navy. Bottom of a Marine paycheck says department.
Oh, this guy's insulting people. Okay.
No. This is actually a fact.
I know
Bottom,
this.
if you look at the bottom of a Marine paycheck, it says U.S. Navy. The United States the Marines are part of the Navy, just for the record. Now, a Marine will get mad if you say it, but he can't deny it either. They know it. That's why we go at it like that. We're brothers.
Well, the Navy came out of the Coast Guard, Leo. That's military history.
So we went from defense to being able to attack. That is logical. And but the Navy and the Coast Guard can't be compared today, as the Marines and the Navy cannot. Even though we have the Navy SEALs as well, but there's that. But
I think you should be like me. You should be like me, Leo, and put a disclaimer that you have a bias. So you should let the public know why you have a bias.
It's not a bias. I'm just stating facts.
All right, sailor.
The Marines are a part of the Navy. This is not like that's like saying
debatable.
I don't even know. Let's like microphone capture. I use the microphone to capture sound to make my voice clearer. Like this is just a fact. It's not something that's like a statement to talk about. It's just what it is. I'm just educating people on facts. And the reason that fact becomes important. First, let me finish with Creasy. So
that's right, guys. You pay up, and we address your issues and questions.
Absolutely. Thank you, Creasy, for the donation, by the way. Oh, so here's the thing, right? Yes, we do run into problems like that on a ship. That goes without saying. But you also have people aboard that can handle some of these things that happen. Like, mechanics. Navy mechanics are a real thing. People fix things on ships. like we don't be like, oh no, the toilet's broken. We gotta wait till we get to port. That's crazy. However,
okay, let me get to my notes.
A fire randomly starting in the laundry room is something that does not make sense, because what in the laundry room started the fire? Is it possible that they got hit with a missile? The reason they're not getting food is because where the ships are set up in the blockade, it takes too long to get the ships to them that can give them the food. So by the time the food gets there, it's spoiled, except for the meat because it's frozen. So they're not able to get fresh fruits and vegetables and milk and what have you, because it takes too long to get them these supplies. And the reason it's taking so long is because we can't get through the Strait of Hormuz. But I digress. Let us move forward.
Well, I was going to report that, in my notes here, what they're talking about is actually from the USS Lincoln. And that's why it was a big thing in the news, because it spent over 260 consecutive days deployed without a major port break. And so that's what I want to address. And so see if you could speak to about ships that go out or deployed, but they come back for a port break. So that's the concern. Understand, Leo? Can you explain that further? What a port break is?
Yeah, you get to touch land. You get to get off the ship for a minute, get a mental break. 260 days is 9 months. 9 months, and you look at the same gray bulkhead, the same gray walls. We call them bulkheads. Sorry. Like, could you
Hopefully
imagine?
You're not having flashbacks, Leo. Shell shock.
Could you imagine being trapped in a room with people farting and not being able to shower and malnutrition for 9 months? You don't get off the ship. 7-day work weeks. Like, that's 12-hour days from what I'm understanding. Which I'm not gonna say I never did doubles in the military. I have even been known to pull off a triple. How? I was very young.
God. Yes, right. Forever
Did I get credit
young.
for it? No. Did I get paid for it? Yes.
Forever young.
Creasy is right. When you're aboard a ship, it is kind of like the dynamics are the same as prison. When you're trapped in the same walls doing this, like, let's suppose you're in E1 or E2, like first or second rank, like you just come in. Like, yo, you swabbing decks, you painting the bulkhead, you literally the walls, you're doing those things. What is this? I thought the ships would constantly be stopped from local bases.
And that's my boy,
Like,
so that's what he's asking about. But the thing is, this one ship, the USS Lincoln, didn't have any I don't want to say surely, but it hasn't touched land, so they didn't re-up, as we'd say in the streets.
yes, they're not getting anything. They're trapped out there, and they're not only are they not getting supplies, they're not being able to communicate with their families. Anybody who's been in the military will tell you. Well, I don't know. When I was in the military, we didn't have Wi-Fi. People that you can just call on a phone, and like, we ain't had none of that. The only way we was able to communicate was with letters. We got letters. We literally got letters.
Postcards. Oh
Word for real though. But let's move on. We got a lot to discuss. We know Trump was a coward. We know that while
God.
this listen, listen, you got your people in here. Let me ask you, Creasy, do you think that the president should have been escorted out with the full force of the United States military behind him, like the president of the United States, or that he should have hidden a food truck? What do you think? You served in battle. Anybody in here got
My
some
thing is this.
information?
My thing is this. Trump is damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. If he would have went full blast throttle on these people in Iran, the media would have spun it the other way. Look at Trump. He's
Wait a minute. What do you
bloodthirsty.
mean
He's
full blast
warmonger.
throttle on the people of Iran? I don't understand what you mean by that.
Exactly what you're painting. The picture you're painting that Trump should have done. If he would do anything that you are suggesting, the media would spin it into the opposite direction.
And I knew you were going to say that, and I will not disagree with you. Had he brought out the full force of the military to leave, we'd have laughed a little bit, but we wouldn't have been embarrassed. We'd have talked shit. We definitely would have. Absolutely, 100%. Without question, you're right. But we wouldn't have been he left hiding in a food truck. He's the president of the United States hiding in a food truck. That's embarrassing. Like, that's like, yo, so the United States went and started this fight with Iran, right? Let me paint a scenario for you that makes it so you can understand, right? That's like you in elementary school. Boom. The bully's picking on you. He's picking on you. Iran is the one getting picked on. The United States is the bully. If we coming over there, smacking you, we dropping missiles on you, do nothing. We coming over, dropping more missiles, kill your father. What you gonna do about it, punk? And the bully and the kid getting bullied, finally like, you know what? I'm gonna see you outside. Let's go to the front. Let's do this. I'm tired of this. So the guy getting picked on is pacing back and forth in front of the building. The circle forms around. Fight, 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 fight. You know how I go. And the bully looks out the window and sees the guy and runs out the back door in the food truck. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. That's what happened. He ran out the bully ran out the back door. Embarrassing. The people like, yo, those ships in the blockade should be swapped out on a consistent basis. There's no reason for 9-month deployments. That doesn't even make sense. It's almost as if we don't have more ships, which we do. So why did you leave them there? It sounds like somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, Scott Besson. How did we run out of missiles? How did you?
He's treasury.
Oh, I said Besson. Oh man, what's
Pete
his name?
Pete Hegseth.
Yeah, Pete. Thank you. How did you? I said because the treasury's on my mind. We'll get to that. How? How did you plan a war and go in and run out of defensive capabilities? How did that happen? Who planned that? Our military personnel is trying to commit suicide. We're running out of weapons. The president's hiding in food trucks, escaping NATO mission. Like, what is this? What is happening? Who are these people? Man, you straight out of a comic book. For those of y'all who get the reference. Somebody said about the collateral damage on, oh right, the fact that United States obviously made a mistake and killed a school full of children, little girls. I don't even like to talk about that. But we have to talk about it because it happened. Well, Donald Trump is not going to have to worry. All of this, he got off the food truck, came in another country. He was taken back to the Air Force One. He came down the staircase, clutching the handrail as if he was going to fall because he can't walk in a straight line. And he had Todd Blanche confirmed. Confirmed Todd Blanche. What do you think about that?
Well, no surprises here. The Republicans have the numbers in the Senate, and Department of Justice is very much needed. But even though the controversy follows Todd Blanche from being Trump's personal attorney, of course, there's conflicts of interest all over that, and here we are.
Oh, oh, I see. Don't let me say it. You gotta say it first, so I don't have it as on my toolkit, right? So, yes, the conflicts of interest are rather extraordinary. That the president of the United States has his personal attorney confirmed as the top law enforcement attorney, or top attorney in the land. Law enforcement would be the Patel idiot. I don't even know if we have anything on him tonight, which is in and of itself rather extraordinary. Do you agree with that? You said that, so I don't have to. Let's move forward. So he's once again trying to push what we call a slush fund, where he's trying to get money for convicts that attack police officers and so forth. Where you're shaking your head no, right? Because you're friends with January 6th.
That's right. I am friends with January 6ers and other gangsters and people that do criminal behavior that have been locked up and beyond. You see, Leo, this fund has proven to Black America that when the Democrats were in power, they could have done a lot of things for reparations and beyond without all the chitter chatter of voting in Congress and all those debates and exploratory committees and things of that nature. So once again, that Donald Trump pushing the envelope really makes people like, I didn't know presidents had those superpowers. Why did Barack Obama do that?
Because he doesn't. It didn't pass. It will not pass. That's why. But I'm glad you brought it up
Well,
because
now
what
that
you're trying to do is you're trying to use Donald Trump's implicit criminal behavior to try and say
oh
Black
boy,
America, we should get behind. Look what they didn't do that Donald Trump is doing. That you did that. And Renjon is maybe they thought it was better to leave the ship that has already been hardened and trained. What? No, crazy. No, 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 no. You put another vessel there, you give them the same orders. They weren't hardened and trained. They were there following orders. It wasn't like, if somebody comes, you shoot at them. You try and talk them down if you can. You can't pass here where the United States Navy can't pass here. It's not special training. It's following orders. No. He would have overwhelmed Iran easily if he would. Right. So Donald Trump could have overwhelmed Iran by murdering more citizens, by destroying infrastructure that citizens rely on, like a terrorist. Because that's how terrorists operate. There are rules to war. There are rules to combat. Heck, if you walk into an armed facility and everybody places their weapons down and puts their hands behind their head, you're not allowed to kill them. And they're military. You do not assault citizens. That's a crime. That's a crime. That is a war crime. So yes, the United States would have looked bad if they had committed war crimes. You're correct. Wow, I have to explain that. Back to Blanche. I had to explain that because we haven't done it to avoid criticism. We haven't committed war crimes. We haven't committed war crimes because they're war crimes. It's not about, like, if you think that we should have done that, if you think the United States should have went and attacked citizens in a military conflict, I don't have words for you. I'm done. Back to Blanche. So, what has he done? Blanche defies the judge to bring court papers. So now he's outright defying judges. Because I have to give the Midas Network a shout out because one of the attorneys there pressed a lawsuit to try and bring out the co-conspirators in the Epstein case. They're the ones pushing all the cases against Trump. They're doing their thing. And the judge made an order for Blanche to release the redacted names, and Blanche hasn't done it. Judge Sullivan orders the Department of Justice to provide a timeline now for the redaction log. So, all right, she didn't release the files. Give us the log of why these names are redacted. And there's a timeline in it. He flopped on the timeline. He's just not following judge's orders. This can lead to contempt. This could be the first time in American history that the Attorney General, who happens to be Donald Trump's personal attorney, is held in contempt of court, trying to defend Donald Trump and keep his name and all his friends out of it, according to not Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi said Blanche was the one hiding the files also. Anyway, Blanche was nominated a week after exonerating Trump for $100 million worth of tax evasion. His personal attorney was leveled up from acting attorney general to attorney general after letting Trump get away with $100 million of tax evasion. Yes, Black America, white is right, I guess, if you have the right money behind you where you can place people and have powers. Because listen, I know a lot of white people that don't have that kind of power. I know a lot of white people that's more upset about it than you are. They pissed. Todd Blanche blocked conversations with Trump by allowing them to be designated as executive advisors. Let's talk about that one a little bit, because that one's crazy. So what Todd Blanche said was Donald Trump does not have to release conversations that he's had in private, even though there might be criminal implications, as long as he says he was doing it under the executive umbrella. So basically, you can have a conversation and say, let's go steal $10 million, and it can't be brought to court because executive privilege. And Todd Blanche just did that. His personal attorney covering for him yet again in the attorney general position. So, what do you think about all this, Dion? You seem content.
Well, number one, the Department of Justice and the executive office, they work hand in hand at times. So in this situation, even though inappropriately so, like I said at the beginning, because Epstein files is number two thing on my list I disagree with as an 80-20 Trumpster. Todd Blanche is using the Department of Justice to expand presidential powers and considerations. For example, he's trying to say under his auspice that any person that Trump talks to in any advisory capacity is protected and immune from certain legal ramifications and subpoenas and things of that nature. So this is just an expansion on the Department of Justice of presidential protections. That's the way I see it. Appropriate or not, that's what it is.
You forgot the word illegally expand the power. But
How
let
is it
me ask you
legal? The Department of Justice
Oh,
and the Attorney General have that discretion.
no, they don't. That goes against the Constitution. They're not allowed to make laws that go. They cannot listen. The Constitution.
What laws? What laws? Just like bail reform,
Con-
Leo, the Attorney General still has this, like the district attorney, they still can look the other way. They still can actually, lighten laws and things of that nature. Have a little time. Look at all the bail reform that started before bail reform law went into effect.
okay, so when you get into law school, what you're going to learn is the foundation of the American judicial system is the Constitution. Any laws that are written to support the Constitution. You cannot write a law that goes against the Constitution. That is called unconstitutional. The three branches of government and their powers, three co-equal branches of government, mind you, each have their powers and restraints labeled in the Constitution. What he did was unconstitutional.
No, he's not doing
That's
anything unconstitutional, Leo. Trump just has to sit back and let his Department of Justice do his thing one way or the other. So he's not passing any laws, no EOs. This is the Department of Justice under Todd Blanche. So he's the person that has to come under scrutiny. But again, the Department of Justice, excuse me, the DOJ, they have certain authorities and privileges. And just like bail reform, just like the open border, they too can be lax in some of their rules and regulations. This pertains to what? The presidential powers. So there you have it.
thank you, Creasy. Creasy's loving you. Creasy's loving you.
Like a lot of the people here.
I see that. I see that. So, as we move forward with this Blanche situation, you said that you agree that he should not be breaking the law, which is a law that Donald Trump signed, not releasing the names of the Epstein files, not releasing the co-conspirators' names. So we can pass that. They can look the other way about the tax immunity. It is literally in the Constitution that they cannot, or that they shouldn't. All
Yep,
right.
there you go. Thanks a lot, King Creasy. Just like the district attorneys here in New York.
King Creasy's
Brooklyn,
loving it.
and
All right.
Bronx.
I don't know what the Houston district attorney just did. But I'm gonna look it up because I have to now.
Well, as you do that, let me just speak on what I know in New York, in the Bronx, or Brooklyn specifically, where bail reform, thanks to the summer of 2020, district attorneys have the discretion to look the other way. And then on top of that, on the same token, the laws were changed with bail reform style. Judges don't have discretionary powers, and people just, get arrested, sign a book, a central booking, and walk out before the cops finish the paperwork. So the Department of Justice has the same kind of leeway now that Trump put his boy in charge as Attorney General. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander, as they say, as Leo's looking up what King Creasy just said. But like all things, family, you pay to play. If you make a contribution to our platform, ask your question, we will try to address it real time, live here on the Think Tank.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Well,
It
Houston
says
District Attorney.
what I found was led by District Attorney Sean Tier, the Harris County District Attorney's Office prosecutes felony and misdemeanor. Oh, this is just what they do. I don't see what he's talking about.
Well, you have to click news. So let me take a look at it. So unless
Yeah, I see that.
King Creasy can put that in chat. So let's just put District Attorney and put news. Click that
I put
tab.
latest news. I just put latest news. Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah, be more specific, guys.
Is currently running a parallel local investigation into a controversial fatal July 2026 shooting of an immigrant by Federal Immigration and Customs Enforcement. If that's what he's talking about, I don't know what you gotta. I don't know what you're talking about. I just looked it up and he's running an investigation on ICE.
Send us notes via WhatsApp.
Oh, the
That way we can
marijuana
get more
felonies.
context.
Marijuana felonies. He's probably going to let marijuana felonies out of jail, which
Yes,
I agree
King
with.
Creasy. Yeah, King Creasy is very big on cannabis and criminal justice reform there, and like all the states that are legalizing it right now, and having past people who are incarcerated have special access to this world. So that should be addressed. Okay, yeah, there we go. New marijuana felons in Texas. So yeah, so that's being addressed real time.
That is awesome. Now, I'm not a marijuana fan. I have seen personally how marijuana affects people. I've seen everything because marijuana, especially the marijuana now that they have, where it's actually altered at the chemical on the genetic levels.
K2.
It is actually genetically modified. It affects moods. People go all the way up and be happy and be all the way down crying. It affects memory, and people forget things that are happening. The marijuana now is not just THC. It's something called terpenes. And you look at all these terpenes in the weed. You don't put anything in the weed. A terpene is a genetically modified marijuana seed. And it has illicit behaviors like moods, like gigantic mood swings from how do I explain it? Really happy to really sad. It's people go from ecstatic to crying. It's bipolar disorder.
Used to be called
And it
manic
has,
depressive.
yes, that was the old term for it. And it has serious implications in memory loss. My research into the marijuana terpenes is what I found is astounding. THC's base, what it does is a depressant. It makes you paranoid. It makes you not want to be around people. If you're smoking something called, I don't know, sativa, and it makes you want to be social, it's not the marijuana making you want to be social, it's the terpene. Because THC is the ingredient, the active ingredient in marijuana. THC does not make you want to be social. So if you're smoking sativa, which is the social marijuana drug, the marijuana is not making you, it's not doing it. It is the terpene. It's the genetic modification and the implications of these terpenes in the marijuana they released today. They're studying and they're still unwinding just how bad this stuff is. The marijuana today is scary bad. It is scary. And I've seen multiple people try to quit. They can't quit. It's super addictive. That shit is like bonkers. Like, I used to be a big weed head when I was a kid. Huh.
It's
20
all
and
news to
30.
Me.
Oh, I was a huge I was such a big weed head that the people that smoke all the time around me, they used to call me Smokey. Huh. True story. That was decades ago now, right? But so I know how marijuana affects you. I lived it. The stuff we're seeing today is not marijuana. It's not the THC in marijuana. What you're looking at now
Mhm.
is terpenes. You're looking at genetically modified weed. If you're smoking that, you don't know what you're smoking. But now that part of the report is done, back to Blanche. So you're okay with them giving Trump tax immunity. You're happy about the slush fund to the felons. You're not okay with the Epstein
Epstein.
thing. So overall, you give Blanche a thumbs up.
Well, he just got confirmed, Leo, as the acting attorney general under Pam Bondi. You know, we're in a whole mess. This Epstein files is a very messy situation. But when it comes to the J6 fund or the exoneration fund that Trump was trying to put together that you label slush fund, that's something that's a presidential power that's very, even for me as a person that loves civics, impressive and shows the ability of the president of just getting things done. No matter if you hate Trump's guts, you always feel like every day that something is getting done. He's up to something. You know what I mean? And he's like other presidents, he's not just all talk. He does a lot of actions, good, bad, or otherwise.
I have done extensive research. I don't have to Google anything. Google THC and how it interacts. It is the active ingredient in marijuana. You can Google that if you need to because you don't know, you don't know. It's fine. We don't all know everything. See what THC does. See what makes marijuana the active ingredient that makes marijuana what it is. And if you're smoking marijuana and it's having a different effect than that, then it's not marijuana. Google terpenes. Search for the results of how terpenes interact, what they do, how they are added to the marijuana seed. Look these things up for yourself. I have done extensive research and I have monitored people that smoke. I have done extensive research.
Extensive.
Absolutely. Because I was trying to understand why people were having such a hard time quitting. And King Crazy wants me to Google terpenes. Oh boy, he wants to get into weed.
No,
All
I
right,
think he
let's.
wants everybody else in the chat and the viewers to Google terpenes as we move on to the next thing that he's going to try to shoot down. So thanks a lot, Kid Crazy. Much love for that. Anybody else have any concerns or issues or comments, make that quick contribution, that donate. It could be as low as 99 cents, as you can see from King Crazy.
All right. And when he Googles terpenes, what it's going to say is it causes the scent, but it comes from plants. So since weed is a plant and terpenes come from plants, then The terpenes have effects like the weed has an effect. So if they're added together, then maybe it's not just the weed that's affecting you. If I can make it plain enough for everybody to understand. Because that's I can't get any plainer than that. It comes from a plant like
We're
weed is a
not here to
plant.
talk about that right now. We have other
Exactly.
pressing things.
So you're right. BBC sued to expose Trump's true finances. So
Okay, yes, so good. I can speak on that.
fire.
Well, you see, Trump actually proved that the BBC, like a lot of other fake news outlets, manipulated their live footage or their footage of the January 6th speech that he made to try to link him to the January 6th insurrection, quote unquote. But now that the BBC knows that if they actually try to bring in Trump's family and prove his finances, basically Trump doesn't want his personal finances and family involved in anything public when it comes to judicial proceedings. But BBC's argument would be like, well, if you're saying you lost all this money and damages because we, edited the footage for January 6th, we want to see how much money you make over the years to prove that loss and your family as well. Which is like, law school again, Leo. This makes sense. If you say that you've lost a certain amount of money, because I used to work for a law firm, you have to prove that you have a history of making a certain amount of money. For example, Leo, you already have Enlightened Entertainment. Let's say, I come out in the think tank and it goes left. And then, you sue me and say, well, Light Entertainment has made this amount of money from previous years of production, but because of this one incident, we've lost value or assets as a result. So they want to see Trump, how much money he's making, as much as his family to expose him. So that's the legal leverage they're trying to pull there to prevent paying out to Trump for this lawsuit.
Hmm. Right. I completely agree.
They missed the
You
sentimentalism
actually
in
hit it.
there.
You actually hit it completely on the head.
There you go.
It needs to be exposed.
Okay.
So so he's doing false lawsuits to try and intimidate people. Got it. Executive order for
No,
vaccination.
he's just exposing the media and its lies. That's why the ratings for CNN, the BBC, NBC, CBS, MS Now, and the rest, all their ratings are going down. Fox News is going up. Newsmax is going up. Real America Voice, which we're going to talk about later, their viewership is going up because the legacy mainstream media has failed and nothing but obsessed over Donald Trump for the past almost nearly, what, almost 10 years?
Hmm. So changing the vaccine schedule.
Yes, let's get to it.
Yeah. So why is there a change in the vaccine schedule? Oh, by the way,
Okay.
before that, Trump not
Here we go, Trump.
is suing people to quiet them down, make them bend the knee. This has been going on for schools. It's been going on for law firms. It's been going on for financial institutions. It's been going on for news stations. This is what he does. This is what he's been doing. He's literally done it to everybody. That's what he does. The people that stood up to him won. All of them. Anyway, all of them. He's going to back out. By the way, I have a prediction as I look into my crystal ball. Trump is going to back out of that suit because he doesn't
Oh
want his
boy.
finances exposed. Changing the vaccine schedule.
Beautiful.
What was you about to say?
Well, once again, I put the disclaimer out there. I was in the Kennedy realm, Maha Movement, American Values 2024, National African American Heritage Director. So now I have a bias. But that being said, we're very happy over here in the anti-vaccine, anti-COVID vaccine movement of this decision, especially the separation of the MMR vaccine, because you have to warp the perception of history to really control these people. We all remember measles, mumps, and rubella. People like me and Leo probably caught chicken pox at one time, or measles, or mumps. And naturally, our body, after aches and pains as a kid, got over it. So now Kennedy finally did a great thing, which is right now there are over 70 vaccines from when the baby comes out to, let's say, 2, 3 years old that they're injected with that are mandatory. Kennedy has slimmed that down to 11, which is great. We could do better, but still it's a start. Kennedy's a fine scalpel for this kind of process. The media is hard to demonize, whereas Trump is a sledgehammer. So as you can see from the history that we have on our information here and on social media, like Rumble and Parler and those other people, since these vaccines were introduced in the late 70s onward, autism rates, obesity, other ailments have increased tremendously throughout children in our society. So once again, shout out to Secretary Kennedy, the team, Dr. Oz, everybody else that, behind the scenes that I kind of know. And that's it. So this is a good thing.
In response to the word salad you just spewed, 70 vaccinations before you're 3. You're making up Donald Trump numbers now. But like what he said,
I showed it, Leo. You don't remember the chart I showed you? This is on their website. These are the numbers from the CDC.
He also
That are
said that they give
mandatory.
a soda bottle full of injections, a soda bottle full. Is that correct?
Soda bottle what?
Full of a syringe with a soda bottle full of vaccinations. It's a soda bottle full. He's mentioned that like 100 times. He's out of his mind.
All right, finally, we passed 1,000 viewers, family. Thanks a lot. Keep it going. Hopefully, we'll make 5K eventually. We're at 900 for a minute.
Okay, right. But numbers are growing. Thank you everybody for coming in. We appreciate you immensely. I just gotta say, routine vaccination completed by age 2 to 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Annual and ongoing. So there's 7 vaccinations, Dion. 7.
It's down to 7. It's down to 7 from no, it went down to 11. This is called a vaccine schedule, which is highly recommended and mandatory. The thing on this part with the Maha side with Kennedy is mandatory. We don't want these vaccines mandatory to society. In addition to that, we will make sure that religious exemptions and
I
other
didn't
medical
share it.
exemptions exist.
I thought I
What?
shared it. When I said it, I thought I shared it, but because of this, I didn't. Thought I shared it when I said it. I wasn't just trying to. Sorry guys. Just got my computer back up and running, so having little hiccups here and there. Okay. Completed by age 2 to 3. DTaP, HIB2, PCV3, IPV4, MMR5, varicella 6, hepatitis A and B 7. Since we know that hepatitis was one of the things that was canceled, we know that was before Kennedy. Which the 70 number you're talking about, Dion, is by the time you're 18. For the record,
Yep.
I know what number
and
you're talking
those
about.
are the mandatory. Those are the mandatory.
By the time you're
ones, too.
3, it's
Remember,
misinformation. Please don't. I
what
have to correct this.
misinformation? What
No, you do not get.
misinformation,
No one
Leo?
ever got 70 vaccinations
Public
by the time they're
school
3.
still mandates these vaccines and proof of vaccination to attend these public schools. Some
Let's try
states
and
throughout the
change the
country,
subject.
some states, more stringent than others. But yes, Kenny does a great job. This is a huge win for medical freedom. I just want to put that out there.
And one of the largest outbreaks in history of measles and more deaths than almost any time in history of measles is happening amongst the unvaccinated because, Kennedy and science, right? Listen to the guy who thinks it's okay to get diseases because he sniffed cocaine off the bathroom toilet seat. Listen to the guy who was on, what was it? PCP, I forget what he was on, some sort of drug that was talking about getting his brain eaten by a worm. This is the guy you want to listen to. Woo, baby. Wow. Right. That's the guy you want to listen to. Me, myself, personally, if I'm going to listen to somebody, I'm going to try and find an expert with, some sort of scientific background that might know just a little bit more.
Like Dr. Fauci.
Well, I happen to agree with you about Dr. Fauci. That is an exception to the rule. Dr. Fauci was not a good catch.
You see, that's the wonderful thing about Kennedy. He's like a broken clock. He's right twice a day for these media, and they can't really twist public opinion on either left, right, or center about Kennedy because he's too consistently with this kind of stuff, exposing the truth when it comes to medical freedom and these vaccines. And why is autism so high and all these other diseases here?
I got it. I
Also
know
the
why. It's
foods, and it
Tylenol.
dies.
It's Tylenol. Tylenol's the reason. Oh, I'm not bad. I was wrong. That guy? That guy?
Yes.
The
And
Tylenol guy?
remember all the pregnant women that OD'd on Tylenol, even though the box said don't drink too much of it when you're pregnant, but just to spite Donald Trump,
They,
because he said drink it, they said no, they drank it anyway.
Dion, are you aware? Are you aware that they reversed what they said about Tylenol? Even though you're still spewing this nonsense, they went back on it. So you're defending it, but they are not. I guess you're not that big of a Donald Trump fan after all. I was wrong. Okay. Let's talk about some of this more intriguing stuff now that people are starting to come in a little bit more. We're almost at 2,000. Thank everybody for coming. Crizzy, I would rather follow science because that's what I'm already doing as a bio major. Oh, somebody with sense. Everything is a chemical. Water is H2O, although there are over 400 molecules in cannabis. So, Crizzy, as a bio major, if someone is to interject molecules into the seed of a cannabis plant, would that be genetic modification? Why is autism so high right now?
Thank you.
Well, there are a lot of possible answers to that. I am not a scientist. My understanding and what seemed a little bit like, I don't know, I would rather say, what seemed like a little bit like common sense. Oh, no, don't use the words common sense to me is that since they changed the definition of the word and they started including all of the people that suffered what we would have called autism when we were younger. Oh, yeah, yes. Adding molecules to the seed is, but according to this bio major, genetic modification. But I'm glad for the answer, but I didn't really need that answer. I taught biology. Anyway, where was I? All right, I used to teach biology. What was I thinking? Anyway, he's arguing with like me. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. What was I? Oh, I read science journals. We was past that, right? What was we? Executive orders about the vaccines. We passed that. No, we're still on the vaccines. What was I saying about the vaccines? I got distracted. That was. Oh well, I guess we're done with it because you look like falling asleep. You don't remember what I was saying either.
Well, yeah, you were going over how many vaccines are so important
I didn't
to
show that.
preventing all these disease. You showed the
Oh
screen that is down to 7. Well,
no, it's
for the
not down to
infants.
7. It's never been more than 7. It's 7. The number you were
Okay, I
quoting
guess
was
I have
up
to
to
go to CDC. Let's go to
the number you were quoting
CDC.
was up to age 18, Dion.
Yeah, well, things they're still bad in certain states. It's a statewide issue
No one is
that
getting
they
70
still.
freaking injections. Okay, let's do some quick math. Let's do some real quick, right? Age 3, there's 12 months in a year, right? There's 12, 24, 36. So that's 2 injections a month.
No, Leo. It doesn't
Mm,
work that way throughout the
that's
years.
how
Okay, here I found
you said
it.
up to age 3. So
Here we go. Here
so
we
that
go.
was not correct. That's wrong.
How is it wrong?
Anyway,
Let's see. Let's see. Can I share my screen now, my friend? Because I've showed this before, and hopefully everybody else here will take the time out to take a look at it. Okay. This is as of 2025, child adolescent immunization schedule by age. Okay, so you are partially right about that. But look how many vaccines, recommended range, mandatory vaccination age group that we're having. Look, birth to
none.
15 months.
Oh, one
Look
dose.
at
So there's
this.
one at one at so up to
Look at
15 months.
this.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Let's go. Let's keep
6.
going. Keep going. Hepatitis, isn't that something that prostitutes used to give out? Because,
I said that when I did the hepatitis, Dion. I went over that.
all right. And this is the one that you're talking about from 18 months to 18 years old, but this is still under the consideration of the vaccine schedule because it keeps the doses they keep injecting these kids with. You see, 4th dose annually. Influenza, the common cold. Everybody's taking these damn things. Needle, needle, needle. Hepatitis A, there we go again. And these things are administered during pregnancy. No wonder we have SIDS and more infant mortality rates and those kind of things.
Wow,
We're
according
glad
to
Kennedy
science,
stopped the
it helped.
vaccines.
You do know that after they started the injections
Neuroscience.
because they because of SIDS and reduced SIDS. Did you know that? No, you didn't because you don't read science stuff. I don't know what you do. That's obviously you don't read science stuff. I happen to be a fan of science, so I read.
Keep those needles.
Listen, I'm not a fan of every vaccination, but measles, like some things we need. Some
The
things we need.
cocktail of the MMR, they split up, Leo, because
And I'll go
before
for
you
that.
could get
Hold
a
up, wait,
vaccine
wait, wait.
from
I'll go for that. It wasn't a soda bottle full, like Trump said, but splitting up those three, I can take that. Let's see what happens. Maybe putting them together might be bad. I can go for that. That makes sense. So if that's your broken clock being right once today, maybe let's try it separate and see what happens. Do I think that's a lead of causing autism? No. No, I do not. I think that if you think back to elementary school, you had kids in your class that y'all used to make fun of because they took a little bit longer to figure things out. They had to sit in the corner with the dunce cap on. I think you look back, you will see that the autism rates were higher then because the definition of the word didn't include them at the time. This is not rocket science. Now, is that all the cases? That account for all the cases? I don't know. But I know 100% for a fact that that covers a lot of cases. That people that once were not counted as autistic now would fall under the new definition of autism. Wow. What did I go to school again for? Before film, it was psychology. So I actually studied this. What did you do, Dion, that you have so much information on? I studied it.
Well, I was with the Maha movement, teamed up with Children's Health Defense, 2020, 2021, fighting against the vaccine mandates, against people that were losing their jobs for not taking the Dr. Fauci ouchie, and also proving that, hey, if you read the box of all the free masks that they were giving out, there's little asterisks that said it does not prevent the spread of COVID-19. Yet, they told you if you wore a mask, you couldn't catch or spread it. Or if you got the vaccine, you could catch or spread it. And all that was a lie. That's why Dr. Fauci pleaded the Fifth Amendment in a recent congressional hearing. And also, he's pre-pardoned in 2014 because if you trust the science, why would that have to happen?
So let me get this right. Let's call a red herring, everybody. When we're talking about
Here
one
we
thing and they
go.
try to divert to something else, that a distraction is called a red herring. He's using Dr. Fauci as a distraction, as a red herring, to not answer the question. So what I did was I studied psychology. What you did is you went and joined a group following a man that sniffed cocaine off a bathroom seat, claiming that half his brain was eaten by a worm. So I was the guy who read and studied and went to school for it. You was the guy who followed the guy who got his brain eaten by a worm. Got it. Moving on. Maha. Alabama recounted votes with the black districts after the recounted the black votes after the redistricting efforts. Since the second section of the Voting Rights Act was struck down by the Supreme Court, which prevented discrimination based on race or language spoken, color, race, or language spoken. I don't want to miss color, right? So now that they could discriminate, they went back and started recounting votes in Alabama, counting out black voters. This isn't going to take long. Creasy, you from Alabama, you seem good with it. Dion, you good with it too, right?
Well, the thing about it is we're going to talk about the Purcell Act later on today in our notes. But yes, so far, because of the can of worms that California did with Texas, redistricting is the thing. Now, recounting black votes, things of that nature, I can't speak to, but I can speak about the redrawing of the lines in these southern states as a result, which would potentially increase Republican representation in Congress in 2028, 2029 cycle.
I'm proud of you for bringing up the Purcell Doctrine and doing your research and knowing that. Good job, Dion. For real. I'm not doing
I
it.
took the
That's
time.
word. Good job. But since you brought it up, I'm like, do you want to explain it since you brought it up? I'm good with that. Hell
Well,
yeah,
I
good
don't want to
job.
get ahead of ourselves, but I'm
Really
gonna skip
quickly, we'll bring
down
it back up
here.
later. But nah, you did that. And that's a great job. It's dope.
All right, so
Dope.
basically what it's saying is that you can't redo elections during election year. For example, the courts decided that the redistricting was constitutional and states can redistrict their land, but some states were already in election cycle. So according to this, they're not supposed to be able to interrupt the election and then do a do-over and start over again. So I think I missed it in my notes. Let me make sure I got it. Yes, the
And Creasy
Purcell
says,
Doctrine.
and I got to read what Creasy said because I have to. I asked if he's happy about. My question was he okay with the redistricting and counting out black votes? His response was, our inner cities are already terrible in Alabama because of Democrats. I can only thank God the Republican controls state law. So
That's Alabama. The Republicans control Alabama, his state, whereas the Democrats control our state here in New York.
so his answer to is he happy about redistricting, counting out black votes was he's happy that Republicans control state law and the cities are terrible. I don't know how that responds to my question, but I'll give him the read because he's such a great contributor. I have to give him the read. He has to get that. Trump declares national. Woo, baby. Let's get to the big one. We got a couple of thousand people in here almost. Let's talk about the big one. If Donald Trump declares a national emergency, it was stated that he could pass the SAVE Act and restrict mail-in balloting. Let's talk about mail-in ballots right quick before we dig into that. He was trying to pass mail-in ballots or the restriction of mail-in ballots using the Postal Service to strike down people who sent in their vote by mail. Federal courts came in and said, what are you, stupid? Stop. No. He tried to do it with an executive order. It did not pass. Courts wouldn't allow it. The appeals court upheld the decision. Mail-in ballots are not to be tampered with. He still has another level to go. The Supreme Court, which basically backs him up on most of the stuff he does. But I digress. Let's get to the point. Do you think that Trump is going to declare a national emergency to pass the SAVE Act and try and restrict mail-in ballots?
No and yes. I don't
Hold,
think
hold.
I just
Before you
see.
answer that, Joe, hold up. Me and Creasy are 100% in agreement. Creasy, I don't know if you was on the episode. What I said was, well, we can log into our banks and our phones using facial recognition. Facial recognition technology is at the point we should be able to vote on our phones and we should be able to vote. So I agree with you. No, Creasy is a contributor. He gets this. He gets the respect. I agree with you. Yes, we should be able to vote digitally. Dion, you were about to say?
Well, I was going to say no. Trump is not going to call a national emergency. I don't believe he's going to do that. He's just trolling. But yes, he is trying to put restrictions on mail-in ballots, even though he used absentee ballot, mail-in ballot himself, because that has been so far looks proven in California with the governor and mayor's race over there, with the mysterious influx of votes, mail-in ballots for probably one candidate who was projected to actually come in a little bit late, least in terms of voting.
You're tired, so your words sounded as solidly as it was. That is not true. There are allegations. There's always allegations. There's never been proven to be any facts showing that there is mass spread voting fraud. It's not ever been proven. The allegations have been there.
Wait a minute, Leo. What
The
about
allegations only seem to be when Democrats win. When Republicans win, somehow the very same politicians are quiet. Matter of fact, let's look at Donald Trump, right? Let's take Donald Trump for
that's
instance.
Donald Trump?
Real quick. So when he lost the election, even though he was the one in office, there was tampering. When he won the election, even though he was the one in office, no, I'm sorry, when he won the election, even though he wasn't in office, even though the Democrats was in control when he won, there was no tampering. But when he was in power and lost, there was tampering. So there's only tampering when he's in power. Hmm.
We're talking about basic election integrity, Leo. You have to bring up the recent situation in New Jersey, where even Governor Mickey Sherrill had to admit that yes, illegal aliens, aka migrants, aka new arrivals, were registering to vote and were voting in the election, no matter how many hundreds or how many. All this time, people have told us it wasn't happening. It was happening in New Jersey, and I'm willing to bet more states will have to admit so as well. So that's why the Save Act is so very important. Get it?
The SAVE Act will disenfranchise women. The numbers you're talking about were infinitesimal. No one ever said that mistakes couldn't be made, but we said there was no widespread conspiracy to commit voter fraud. It's not true. And because a couple of hundred people got it and the state caught it and mixed it and fixed it, doesn't change that fact. But let's move forward. Since that was it, you didn't respond to that. No response to that. Tyler Rico seems to be winning in just about
Oh,
every poll. Oh, wait,
no,
go
he's
ahead. You had
not.
something to say?
No, he's not. I was just saying it's 3 o'clock. No, it's actually 4:30 in the morning right now over here.
All right, so we're gonna
So,
let's get through this then. We got a couple of thousand people listening. Let's get through this. Trump declares national emergency. You say he's not going to do it. I'm looking into my crystal ball. I see Trump trying it. Let's see if I'm correct. Voting will be take 2/3 of Congress to overturn it if he does pass it. By the way, it would not be legal for him to do, but if he did do it, that's what he was told. It would take 2/3 of Congress to change it. So, what poll? If you look it up, you will see that Tyler Rico is winning in most polls. If you don't want to look it up, that's fine. I didn't think you would.
all I know is that from news I get, he is not doing very well amongst the black people because remember, he beat everyone's favorite gal, Jasmine Crockett, in Democratic primary, which is very nasty and contested. So the great black vote is not with him. So that's why he's not doing too well.
I'm sure that's the nonsense they're spewing on your end. But when you look at Fox News
I didn't
and
say
every
Fox
other poll,
News.
Talarico is ahead, even according to Fox News. Fox News is beefing about it. They're worried about it. So maybe every news station in the world is lying. Maybe all the polls that I read are not true. But according to the polls, Talarico's winning. Gas prices hit the highest point they've ever hit this time of the year because of this war that Donald Trump seems to love so much that he doesn't care about the price. He said in a speech that we should be happy that gas prices is high, even though he said he was going to bring them down to $2 when he was running for office. What's your thought on that, Dion?
My thing is this with gas prices, the media is always trying to conflate the numbers, make you hate the president of the United States. So for now,
Wait, say that again.
my research, my I said the media once again tries to conflate and manipulate numbers to make the public opinion go against the president of the United States. Now, according to Gas Buddy, that's where this is from. The U.S. national average gas price reached its highest level ever recorded for mid-August, hovering about $4. However, this is not the absolute highest gas price in U.S. history. The all-time record peak was set in June 2022 under who? Joe Biden at an average of $5.02, Leo. That's
Uh,
what my research has found. Gas Buddy.
you said the same thing I said, Dion. I said this time of the year. That's what I said. So don't think of that as an I got you moment. It did hit that price.
No, I'm just saying that the
Why was
word
inflation? Why was
manipulation,
inflation so high? Because let me
COVID,
think. Possibly because of the pandemic. And what happened?
keeping the country locked down. That's
Biden
what
got the
happened
prices back down. He got them
because
down.
he opened up the country.
Biden's pandemic recovery was the wonder of the world, according to right-wing media. He got the prices back down. So Trump gets in office, the pandemic happens, prices go up. Biden gets them down. Trump gets in office, prices go up. Y'all look at Biden. That is almost surreal. So, whatever. Trump is responsible for the gas prices now. Anyhow, let's get so pastrami and roast beef contamination is spread. The chicken one spread. There was the one in fruit that I got sick from a few months ago. Why do you think all this is happening, Dion? Why is all of a sudden the United States suffering from all these food catastrophes? What do you think?
Well, I think that right now, who could tell what's going on with food regulations, but there are some changes in compliance. So thanks to Mr. Kennedy again exposing how toxic our food is, he's making sure the public makes wiser decisions in their purchases. And then again, food, how can I say this? Food awareness before Kennedy, these things have happened with bad meat, recalls, things of that nature. So
Could it possibly be that the reason for this is because the head of the department that was responsible for detecting this was let go? Or maybe, let me think, could it possibly be because the CDC ran into funding issues? Could it be a combination of just defunding the medical experts because Kennedy had his brain eaten by a damn worm? Could that be it?
no, this is like whoever the farmers are and the companies that distribute this meat. It's their fault. That's my
So it has
opinion.
nothing to do with the fact that the people responsible for monitoring this and containing it and making sure it didn't happen. It's not the fact that they're gone because of Kennedy and Trump's budget cuts. It has nothing to do with the fact that the people responsible for it are gone. It's because of the what? Word salad. Maybe you're just tired. I'll forgive it and say you're just tired. Cause no.
It's
Um
4:30.
yeah, I'll blame it on 430 because it's no longer necessary for companies to report the beneficial ownership. Financial records are being deleted by Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. Beneficiaries of this deletion will be drug dealers and Russian launderers. Why would Donald Trump want financial records to be deleted and for there to be no reporting on who owns companies benefiting drug kingpins and Russian money launderers? Why do you think that is?
I think that's just sensationalization. But for my research, it's because the federal government and the president decided to relax certain regulations when it comes to domestic businesses, whereas foreign businesses has other restraints and regulations. So they're trying to loosen the grip for help improve business in America, domestic companies. So this is one thing that they're targeting because a lot of people are concerned that would open the floodgates not just for Russia, but other entities to do money laundering and other improprieties. But there's other regulations for businesses that are trying to make more lax to increase business domestically. Whereas foreign
So
businesses,
not
they're still
reporting
under
the
high
owner does
scrutiny.
that how? How does not reporting the owner do that? I don't understand.
Again, Leo, this is one regulation they're focused on because of the potential, negative consequences. But yes, that means that businesses have one thing that they don't have to report on or be in compliance of, and that would ease certain constraints that they may have. I'm thinking as a business owner, that kind of mindset when it comes to this, but that's for my research. And right now we are going below 1,000, so I think people might be tuning out.
Huh, don't know what's happening. Okay. Well, let's finish up. We ain't got much left. 900. Okay. So you're good with Donald Trump making it easier on drug kingpins and Russian launderers because um
That's not true.
so you're not good with it.
No, I'm
900
saying
million
that what you're
to
saying is not true. It's all conjecture and speculation to try to
listen.
tarnish the
What
president of the United
so
States.
so then why not? So then why would they be erasing financial records?
Well, you have to keep in mind, Leo, that even by law, even banks can only keep their records for like what, 7 years? So this is standard procedures, I believe.
They just made this, they just said when you no longer have to report who owns the company and started erasing financial records, Dion. All right, we're not going to keep going. I will let the audience make their own decision based on the facts. Make your own decision. Because we're not going to agree, but I know what it seems like to me. Um, let's move forward. Trump created a social media platform to sell the information in his speeches that can move markets. This information will not be available to the public or journalists. Like, what do you think of that?
Well, Leo, Truth Social's the app that President Trump put out there after they deactivated his regular social media accounts, Twitter at the time known as X, Facebook, and beyond, because they don't want the public to hear the truth. But Trump, having the money in the back, and created his own platform. Now, just like Facebook, X, and beyond, they're adding, I believe, another subscription feature for this purpose because they've discovered as business people, because Trump was a businessman before he became president, that there could be money to be made from all the actual political announcements and trolling that he does. So this makes business sense for them, if it's appropriate or not. But still, this is something that Trump would do anyway, even if he wasn't the president of the United States. It's kind of a business maneuver.
He's using the office of the presidency to grift exponentially. Listen, he is selling for $100,000 a month the market manipulation potential information. So you pay $100,000 a month and you get information before the public does about something that can move the market. Do you not think that's crazy?
No, that's just Trump being Trump.
That is, we're back up to 2000. That is Trump being Trump.
Okay.
That is Trump being Trump. Trump is the ultimate grifter. Over 2000 is the ultimate grifter. He is the guy who's going to find a way to make money on the backs of the American people. That is Trump being Trump. I agree. Let's talk about ICE. Yo, let me see if I can find it right quick. Because oh man, can I find this? I'm gonna find it. So ICE is getting what they call shot gloves. These have been around for decades. I know somebody who made one from scratch. We've put it in cartoons like this. Shot gloves. Something that belongs in freaking cartoons. Not in real life. Shot gloves like Huey wore when he fought the martial artists in that episode of the Boondocks.
Oh boy.
If anybody remembers. From my audience that like the Boondocks. Trump wants to give these gloves to ICE to be able to arrest people. Did you know, Dion, that immigrants, the worst of the worst as he calls them, actually commit crimes at a far lower rate percentage-wise than their American counterparts? And ICE will not release body footage unless it benefits them. So if somebody gets Alex Praed or Renee Gooded, they won't release the body footage. But if an ICE agent is attacked, they're going to release that. What do you think about all of this Gestapo, like, I don't know the word, policy, I guess, for ICE?
Well, I think it's more scare tactics to turn people against ICE who are doing the will of people that we voted for in 2024.
What is the will of the people?
I also
Shot gloves? Shot gloves?
Migration, immigration policy was a big thing of Trump's platform, and that's why he overwhelmingly won the popular vote and the electoral college. Now, again, with word manipulation, you said immigrants, whereas we're saying migrants because of you guys and also new arrivals. So that wordplay manipulates the numbers, just like any other law enforcement reporting, my friend, when it comes to violence, gun violence versus stabbings, rapes, and those wonderful things. So that's why I can't really take it seriously about these things. I mean, are immigrants not committing crimes? Or is it immigrants, including the migrants, which are not immigrants? Understand what I'm saying, Leo?
I understand the wordplay you're trying to do.
Guess what, Leo? Migrants already committed a crime by coming into this country illegally. So you see the criminal behavior? That means every migrant has broken the law. So if there's millions of migrants, they are there by default lawbreakers.
Okay, and to correct that misinformation that you consistently spew that I have to correct every time, when they came into the country, Biden allowed them in. They came in legally through policies that were at the time. Trump came in and grandfathered them into being here illegally, but when they came in through legal means and measures. They came in legally. They were not breaking the law when they entered. Trump said, I'm changing the law, now they're illegal. That is not breaking the law, Dion. And by the way,
Here we
research
go.
consistently shows that migrants, the word that you want to use, do not commit crimes more than native born citizens. So
I
you wanted the
just
difference between you wanted the difference between immigrants and migrants. Migrants do not commit crimes at the level that native born citizens do. So now we have a special police force for people that commit less crimes running around with cartoon like shot gloves to attack these people who came into the country legally.
wow. What a manipulation of history to make people forget. Nice try.
What are you talking about?
We all know that these people came in illegally, Leo. No
How
matter
did
how
they,
much
if
you
they hold
try
up? So
to,
how did they get it? So how did they get into the country, Dion?
well, under the Biden administration, looking the other way with the border czar, Kamala Harris, these people just like bail reform, Leo, these people just came in illegally, whereas ICE, borders, and
So
customs control had to
let's.
look the
So
other
you're
way.
saying that? Hold on, I'm lost. I'm really confused about this. Are you saying that Biden didn't allow them in?
Yes, he allowed them in. Yes.
So the president
Now
of the
looking the
United
other
States
way.
allowed them in, but you're saying they came in illegally. I'm lost.
Just like bail reform. They're putting laws in the books, but because of bail reform, the judges and the police department have to look the other way. You know that, Leo? That's why bail reform is a horrible thing. Same thing with the border under Joe Biden. That's how laws work. And that's why the Department of Justice under Todd Blanche is so scary to these damn people, because they know if he looks the other way, what Trump is doing, they're going to be in trouble.
Legal immigrants commit less crimes, not illegals. I okay. Creasy already answered that. I proved that to not be true. That
Oh,
is,
wow.
I just did that. I showed it. So, and that's in response to Creasy. Now, in response to you, what was it you just said? Because I saw the Creasy. I had to get to Creasy. At 4,000
The
people are coming
migrants.
in now. We're getting ready to end this soon. People are coming in. Um, in response to your rhetoric, which piece I you talk so much shit. Um,
I thought it was shit. I don't even curse, Leo.
that's true. You speak so much
Thank you.
nonsense. Like
My
that's what's hard to keep
spectacular
up with.
vernacular and verbiage they're in. Yeah.
Immigrants came into the country under asylum policies. There were policies in place. If there's a policy in place, no one turned their head to look the other way. There was a legal platform, a policy allowing them in. It was legal entry, Dion. There were policies in place. It was called
449.
asylum.
I tried to wake you up at 4, but you just said, eh. Oh, sorry. We're trying to get
There,
packing for the airport. Sorry.
so they came in under asylum. If they came in under asylum, that means they entered legally. Like
That means that
all.
they exploited the system just like
How
everybody
did they
else,
didn't even
and
know
the
how the system
government
was
looked.
set up? They didn't even know how the system was
No,
set up.
there
They
were
came.
NGOs, Leo. There were NGOs facilitating this. This is a whole covert operation globally to get so many people through our border and make so much. Do you know what I mean? Missing children are still being found to this day from the black market, the flesh trade, the human trafficking at the border, Leo. The media's not going to report on this. But thanks to me on this platform, I'm going to let these people know the dark side of this illegal. Now, how come they can't be called immigrants, Leo? How come they would call migrants if it was legal? Hmm? Wouldn't they be called immigrants if they came through all those wonderful policies? What's with the wordplay about the new arrivals that we have to welcome? Mayor Eric Adams tried to call out. Look what they did to him.
Hmm. It's funny you should ask that. Let's see.
That's right, family. If you get the thumbs up to King Creasy, who's making these contributions, this helps our algorithm and your algorithms as well. So I see there's 5 thumbs up for him. So thanks to his contributions, give him thumbs ups. Okay, guys? Thank you.
A
Over
migrant is a
5K
person.
viewers.
A migrant is a person who moves from one place to another, especially in order to find work or better living conditions. So an immigrant is somebody who comes from outside the country. A migrant is somebody moving around. So they're not from one
Legally.
place. They're
Immigrant
moving
is
around.
legal. Migrant is not.
If they came under asylum, they're legal, Dion. You're not making sense. But it's fine. If that's how you want to, because there's no justification, you can just repeat the same nonsense over and over, even though we just looked up the words. That's fine. The audience isn't stupid, not on our platform. I'm sorry. Here, we have critical thinkers. We read together, we understand, we come up with definitions. So, ICE is now attacking people who entered the country legally through asylum with cartoonish stun gloves, who are actually committing crimes at a lower rate than people that are born here. And they're not going to show the crimes that they're committing, even if their body cams captures the footage.
Just like all the migrants that kill, rape, and steal and rob. The media's not going to show that, but I'm here to talk about it.
At a far less rate than let's say
Oh
MAGA.
God.
At a
Ugh.
far less rate
Missing
than
children. Missing
let's
children.
say MAGA.
MAGA. Look over there, MAGA.
No, let's look. Who commits more crimes, migrants or white nationalists? This isn't even close. That's not even a discussion. Who does the FBI consider the biggest terrorist group in this country? It's not migrants, but numbers and science, none of that stuff matters, right? The Purcell Doctrine, as you mentioned, which basically says that you can't change laws wrapped around an election too close to an election cycle. All right, we discovered, we talked about that. Democrat, socialist. Oh, the big one. Oh, first, let's do this. I forgot to move this to the right place. Why do you think Caroline Levitt quit? Do you think it's because she was used as a decoy?
No, she did not
So
quit, Leo.
after it comes out she was used as a decoy, she left and that's a coincidence?
What decoy, Leo? You're trying to again sister lies and put out false information out there.
It's not false
Caroline
information.
Levitt stepped down. And did you know Caroline Levitt is actually 20, I think, what, 23? And she's married to a 60-year-old. No, she's 28 and her husband is 60. So if you're in Africa like me, that's a great thing. And she wants to be a good housewife and become a full-time mom, a full-time housewife. I think it's a beautiful thing because on this side, we love the family structure, even with such an age gap. And we're against abortion. So the more babies you make, the happier we are on this side of the fence. Isn't that great, everybody? Age ain't nothing but a number.
Says the party of pedophiles. I think the reason Caroline Levitt
Oh,
left
really? The party
MAGA,
of
absolutely. I'm
what?
sorry. Says
Gender
the
affirming
party of
care?
says the party of pedophile
NAMBLA,
protectors.
NAMBLA. Democrats support NAMBLA.
Pedophile protectors. Pedophile protectors. The Epstein people. Of course, age is nothing but a number to those people that want to protect pedophiles. I think Caroline Levitt left a couple of days after it was said that she was left on Air Force One while the president snuck off in a food truck in case Air Force One was struck down. You're right, because she wanted to be there for her kid. I think you're right. When she realized that she was left on that plane, that if it got hit by a missile, she would go while the president snuck off. You're right. She left to be there for her kid, Dion. I agree with you. You're right. Because if you left me aboard a plane, I will get to that in a second, Crazy. If you left me aboard a plane,
That actually makes sense, Leo. Good. I'll give you that one. That logic makes sense. If that's the sequence of events, that's a possibility. But again, she's
he said, "Nah,
28.
I gotta admit."
She's married to a 60-year-old guy and she wants to be a mom, but that's a very good point, Leo. I gotta give you that one.
Wow, that's the first time you've ever done that. Let's take a
No, I'll give
moment
you
to.
credit where credit's due.
How does illegal immigration affect black jobs?
Good. Trump
What's
said
a
that.
black job? What is a black job?
Here we go. What is a
I don't
black job,
know.
Leo?
I don't know. What is a black job? You tell me. I
Well,
don't know what a
according to
black job
the,
is. I can't answer the question because I don't understand. I don't know what a black job is.
you don't know what a black-owned bank. You don't know what a black-owned business is, do you?
I
It's
know what a
all
black owned business is. It's a
interconnected.
business that's owned by a black person. So now that I've defined that, tell me what a black job is. Owning a black business is a black job. I'll go for that. How does illegal immigration affect that? I don't think it does. So what black job are
Shoe
y'all talking
shining,
about?
Leo. Remember shoe shining? Remember black people used to corner the market about shoe shining? How many illegals do shoe shining now? Hey, boss? Tap dancing. How many illegals tap dance? That was a black job.
That was a black job before we had rights, which
So black jobs exist. Thank
what they're
you.
trying to take us back to, we don't. But
Let's move on. We're at 2 hours. I gotta go.
all right, we only got a couple of things left. Oh, Queasy came back. Jobs that are statistically overrepresented by blacks. I will answer that. If they're overrepresented, these jobs are overrepresented by blacks, then obviously the immigrants aren't having much of an effect. If we're overrepresented there, that means we have those jobs. So I would say it's not. There was reports that reflecting pool was peeling days before David Hearn was arrested. So they arrested an immigrant, I'm sorry, who's David Hearn? An Olympian, to try and cover up another one of Trump's lies. How do you feel about that as a proud American, that the president would have an immigrant, I keep saying immigrant, I'll be with the immigrants, an Olympic person that represented this country against the world to cover up a Donald Trump lie? How do you feel about that?
I feel that the reflecting pool, like a lot of beautification projects, some say vanity projects for the White House, is another one that's been mismanaged. And here we go. But then again, all this stuff spills over from the previous administration and previous administration, not just Biden, of decades of neglect and upkeep.
So, including when Trump was in office last time, but he ain't trying to do all this, including that.
Yes. Because
So
remember, in
now
the
he's
first term that remember his first term, he's still finding his way and learning what he needs to do. So that way, the second time he's doing this because he learned his lesson the first term, Leo.
right. So now he's trying to set up discretionary funds, take funds from parks and every place else to put into this bank account in the
Happens
White
all the
House
time. Not
where
his
he
bank
can.
account,
It's
but
never happened
actually,
before.
oh boy, here we go.
Never. First time. Sorry, it's facts. And he's trying to get all this money together so he can do his beautification projects around the White House. That's what's
Happens all
happening.
the time. Taking one line item budget and putting it in another. It happens all the time.
No one's ever tried. In order to change the White House, you're supposed to go to Congress. So no one's ever done this before. No one
Exactly. That's
has
why Trump is
ever.
great. Great
He's
again.
great. So back on that piece of paperwork that we call Constitution, in case you don't remember it, the three branches of government, the first, second, and third, where you know Congress holds the purse strings. And so he's literally going against the Constitution. And in your mind, he's great because he's able to skirt the law. So the party of criminals or criminal lovers and pedophile protectors
All right. You're
and
scared
and
us
and
enough,
science
Leo.
deni- and science deniers. Did I forget anything? Oh, people that are against books, burn the books. Your party. Jesus Christ. All right.
My party's not against that. But okay.
MAGA. MAGA wants to burn books. You're MAGA. MAGA wants to burn books. MAGA burns books.
Yes. Think Nazi Germany. Think Nazi Germany.
I didn't say that. You did. I simply stated the facts. I wish I had cleaned my camera before I started, but I had just put it back on before we got started, and I don't have a tissue to clean it, and I'm a little blurry. I will be better next week. I literally just got my computer up and running, so everybody, I'm happy that it's up and running. Finally, last but not least, drum roll, please. Let us discuss McIntyre. Do you remember McIntyre, Dion?
Yes. Labor statistician that got fired. for being incompetent.
She was what made her incompetent, Dion?
She fudged numbers to try to make Biden look good and Trump look bad. Yeah,
Is that
fire
what
her at
happened?
451. That's right.
Is that what happened?
The level, the temperature at which books burn. That's mandatory reading in my high school.
So she printed out, she gave job report numbers based on the information she had, and then had to revise the numbers. Is that what happened?
Oh,
That's not what
no,
happened? You're saying
no,
that didn't happen, Dion?
no. See how dark my answers are? I don't skirt around it. I don't do question stories or
You're
story
wrong.
questions or
Are you
statements.
now? I have a question. Are you wrong because you're lying, or just because you're ignorant?
I'm right because Trump fired her.
So then, why did the same thing happen this year with the person he replaced her with? The
Because that
exact,
person was more competent.
the exact same thing happened this year. They gave job numbers. They revised the job numbers downward to where there were job losses by what 100,000. The same thing. Actually, it's worse than when she gave the numbers, isn't it? No, I think hers was 140,000. This is 100,000. So maybe hers was worse, but the same thing, right?
Yes, it was much worse. It was egregious, Leo. You
It's
can't
egregious
conflate
now.
numbers 200%.
It's egregious now. And the reason it's egregious is because of the facts that the government was giving her wrong information. Like they gave wrong information to this new statistician. And then when the real job numbers came in, they had to be reported because those were the real job numbers. I think she was fired because they were trying to hide how much worse the job numbers were going to be in September. I do believe I said that last year multiple times. And then we didn't get job numbers. What do you think is going to happen this year now that the exact same thing happened, Dion? Do you think we're going to continue to get job numbers?
Yes. And the media is going to nitpick and try to get Trump and make him look stupid. So good luck.
So hundreds of thousands of people losing their job is nitpicking?
Yeah, the media manipulation. So
Dion, a strong economy shows job growth. Hundreds of thousands of people losing their job is a shrinking economy, not nitpicking. Now, I'm not an economist. I'm not an economist. Let's put it out there. This is egregious.
yes.
But we're about to let you go, Dion. It's 4 o'clock in the morning.
No, actually it's 5 o'clock in the morning now.
Jesus Christ. All right, everybody. Dion's got to go. We've covered everything. Thank everybody for coming out. Dion, have a good night. Enjoy your flight. So thank you for staying up with us this late. Catch you next week. Where are you going to be?
Gone.
What time will it be there at 5 o'clock, at 11 o'clock here?
Well, when I'm there, it was 1 o'clock, remember?
All right, so it won't be as bad. Good. All right. Catch you next week.
This is why we are the media, and now so are you. So make the algorithm pay attention to all of us by sharing our content and adding your own.